Welcome to Truth Bombs and Tea. Welcome back, my community members. And if you are here for the first time, I appreciate you. Thank you for dropping by. Today, we are focusing on how to build confidence. And if you've been following me for a little while, you know that Truth Bombs and Tea focuses on mental and emotional health primarily, okay? Because how we feel dictates what we think, and what we think dictates our actions. So, those three things, your beliefs, or feelings, beliefs, and actions, is really what makes up our life. And here we're focused on making our life the best possible that we can. So, those three things are really the focus of the work that I do. So, I have in previous posts and previous videos talked about anxiety and fixed thinking and the damage that that does to your life. And this kind of piggybacks on that. So, confidence is really important in life. If you're not confident in yourself, all your decisions and your behaviors can have a very negative impact on you. So it's going to be a bit of a jam-packed episode, and I'm going to outline some things. But if you want the real details and also some action plans and more examples, I'll also link below to the article, the blog from my website, because that will give you even more suggestions. It will give you a little bit more background in the research that I've done around it. So speaking of research, let's start off with what confidence is not, first of all. And confidence is not pretending that you're great at everything. Okay. And we see this a lot. Social media has really exponentially blown this kind of delusional thinking up. And that delusional thinking is if I just pretend I'm really good at things, then I will be. No, that doesn't work. Okay. And the other thing that social media has really propelled into exaggerated proportions is this whole fake it till you make it. Like, doesn't matter whether you can do it, you just have to look like you can do it. Once again, no. Studies have shown that that could be the fake it till you make it, or pretending that you're good at everything, may get away with it like on a one-off if you're caught by surprise. But if that is the modus operandus that you use, that's the method that you use, it actually leads to delusional thinking and increased anxiety. So if those things don't work, what is confidence? Well, real confidence is a realistic awareness of you feeling and believing that you can succeed through life's challenges. Okay. That's what real confidence is. And here's a truth bomb. And it's funny to say it's a truth bomb because it's just common sense. But I think, as we all know, and if you're a member of my community, I think we are of like mind when I say that common sense is quite rare. It is certainly not common. But it turns out that confidence comes from competence. Yeah, shocker, right? So, in other words, you're confident about something when you're competent in it. Like, you learn how to do something. You probably suck at it at the beginning, but you master that skill and then you become confident in it. So, an example would be, say, and this is a throwback to my 57 years of age, and that is when I learnt to drive, it was a manual car. There were very few automatic cars around. And, driving a manual car requires some sort of coordination and some hand eye brain stuff going on. And when you first start, there's a nuance to it. You can't just get into a manual car not knowing anything about it and, drive it off. So it's a bit clunky to begin with, but then when you master it, you're confident that you can get into any car, automatic or manual, and you'll be able to drive it. Okay. So confidence only comes from competence. So, how do we build up that competence and therefore become more confident within ourselves and have that knowing? Like, it doesn't matter kind of what happens in life, we know that we have our own back, okay? And that we can take on challenges even if we don't really know much about that area. We can learn about it and we can become skilled in it and then confident. So, I have three different, well, 10 actually different tips for you. So I'm going to kind of breeze through these a little because there is 10 and I want to keep the video to a reasonable length. But as I said, I'll link in the description the blog article that I researched and wrote for you with all the latest findings, and that will give you the absolute specifics of things. So number one is to master something. Can be anything, okay? Because studies have shown that once you master something, the brain then kind of comes on board to say that you can learn and that you can grow. So it tends to then just generalize and say, well, if you've learnt how to drive a manual car, that means that when you learn how to cook, I'm on board with that. Okay. So mastering something. So choose something that you're interested in and that's not like mega hard to do. Like, if I wanted to trek to the Himalayas, I wouldn't say, that's the first thing I'm going to do is trek to the Himalayas. I might say, okay, I'm going to start getting fitter, and doing cross country walks with those little sticks or something like that, right? So start small, choose something specific so that it can be finished. So, say, for example, you want to learn how to cook Thai food. The first thing you might want to do is learn how to cook a Thai curry. Number two, the confidence competence loop. Well, that actually is the competence confidence loop. So, because you need to be competent in something, learn a skill. Again, it could be Thai cooking. Okay, it could be changing a tire, could be a first aid course. Practice it because you are going to feel uncomfortable and probably a bit inept at the beginning. Get feedback if you need to. So, say, for example, it's a first aid course, you will be getting feedback from the instructor and then improve it to the best of your ability. So, that is getting competent at something, and then you get confident with something, and that's that competence confidence loop. That's number two. Strategy number three, reframe failure as feedback. So I've gone into this a lot. If you've been following me for a while, I've written a whole post about this and also done a video on mindset. So the growth mindset says that instead of thinking, oh, we suck at this, we say we're learning. Instead of saying I've failed, we say I've learnt what doesn't work. Okay, so that mindset of growth is really important to confidence. Okay, so another example is instead of saying like I can't do this, we say I can't do it yet because I'm on my way to learning. Strategy number four, the social confidence multiplier. Sounds fancy, but basically it is surrounding yourself with people and working with others and getting feedback and going where you're valued. Okay. Because there's nothing worse than, feeling like you've got something to give, but the people that you're hanging around just aren't interested in it. Okay. So we need to find people where our skills are valued. Okay. We need to get feedback about those skills. We need to offer help to others in the areas that we're confident in, to ask for specific feedback on your progress, and maybe even join some groups where you can be mentored and it's focusing on particular skills. Okay, so research shows that when you go where your skills are valued, confidence builds. Where when you go where not only are they valued, but you can help other people and other people can help you, that's called the multiplication effect. Okay, so the social confidence multiplier. Also, if you are, currently with people who kind of demean your skills, who don't value them, who maybe belittle them, or who just ignores them altogether, I think it's time to move to different people. Number 5, the mind-body connection. So the mind and body are intertwined. Okay. When you feel or you're thinking and feeling very depressed or anxious, it shows in the body, not just on a chemical reaction, but even your posture. Okay. When you're sort of depressed, you're slumped over, maybe you lay in bed all day. Okay. So the connection between the body and mind is really key. It's very intimate, but your body can also influence your mind. So, as an example, if you are prepping for, say, an interview, the last thing you want to do is sit in the waiting room all hunched over chewing your nails. It's better to stand up, to maybe go outside, get some sun, maybe put your hands on your hips. There's no coincidence that, for example, superheroes such as Wonder Woman or Superman or Batman have that posture where their legs are slightly apart and they've got their hands on the hips, because when you open the body up, it signals to the brain that you are open and receptive. And if you take those power poses, it indicates to the brain that you feel strong and confident. Okay. So things like good posture, so not slumping over, making eye contact with people also gives your brain the sense of confidence. So then confidence does result. Speaking clearly and not mumbling. Okay. And things like regular exercise, because the endorphins kick in, the stress bleeds out, which increases our confidence. So, number 5 is the body mind connection. Number 6, strategy 6, is the preparation paradox. So, basically, that just means that uh, it's good to prepare, but you prepare enough to feel competent, not perfect. Because the paradox is, if you are going for perfection, research has shown that there's a tipping point where then, because you are striving for perfection, you then get into an anxiety loop and an analysis paralysis loop and a catastrophizing loop. Okay. So when you're preparing for something, prepare enough to be competent at it, not perfect, because the perfection goes into a tipping point where it undermines any confidence that you did have. So just be mindful of that. Okay. So practice until you're competent. Look at the process as well, not just the outcome. And practice recovering from mistakes. Okay. Not avoiding them, because we all make mistakes, and mistakes are learning opportunities. If you're trying to avoid mistakes, you're actually avoiding learning. Number 7, the confidence calibration system. So another fancy term, but it just means tweaking your confidence. Okay. So real confidence is not about feeling great about everything that you do, but it's about accurately assessing your capabilities. So being realistically aware. Okay. So a couple of tips are: assess your predictions. So say, for example, I might think I'm going to do like a week's worth of social media and I'm going to run Facebook ads or something like that, right? When I go to do it, how competent was I about it? Because I may have underestimated or overestimated my abilities. Seek objective feedback from people who want to see you succeed and who love you and want to give you constructive feedback to help you grow, not destructive criticism to keep you small. Okay. Notice when you're overconfident or underconfident, and this is when journaling comes in well. So you reflect, you start the day by, looking at the way you're thinking and planning out goals. And then at the end of the day, you can say, oh, how did I go? Okay. Strategy number 8, the growth mindset foundation. So growth mindset is really recognizing that there is no win or lose. There's just experiences and learning. It's about that curiosity and the eagerness to learn and improve your skills, rather than thinking, I suck at this, or I'm the best at that. Okay. So it's that nice flow where your brain looks at all the life experiences and areas of your life with flexibility and curiosity and openness. So I won't go into too much of that because I have done some videos on this channel that you can have a look, versus growth mindset, and also some articles on my website, truthbombs&tea.com. So research has shown, though, that people who have a growth mindset have a lot higher confidence than people who are fixed. Okay, so check that out. Strategy number 9, have a confidence portfolio. So just like investments, you wouldn't take all the money that you had and then just put it into cash, for example. You would say, okay, let's get some blue chip stocks, maybe some gold, put some in cash for flexibility, etc., etc. So that if anything happened to, say, the cash, and you've got everything in there, you're basically screwed. Okay. But if you have a variety of investments, then if one dips, the other ones usually rise. Okay. And it kind of evens out. And it's a bit of a safety net. And the same thing happens with your confidence. So don't just get good at, cooking, for example, or don't just be obsessed with one particular skill. And yes, you might be a master at that skill, but then if any other life experiences happen, you will have no clue whatsoever and no confidence in how to do it. So it might be that you like a bit of cooking, you like a bit of gardening, you're good at what you do at work. You might have a really great hobby, another hobby that you like. Your fitness might be pretty good. So you have a range of things so that if something at work happens and say you lose your job, or your boss is really not happy with you, then you still have a baseline of confidence because you are competent in other areas. So that's the confidence portfolio approach. Okay. And the last strategy is the long game approach. So just like with going to the gym to get fit, you wouldn't go there and pump, 10 rounds of biceps and expect to have arms like, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's the same thing with your confidence. It is a gradual and hopefully enjoyable experience of being realistic about what you're competent in, and then recognizing what you would like to become more skilled in and starting that journey of learning, practicing, and improving. Okay, so it's a long-term approach for a really solid foundation of self, to feel confident and to realize that no matter what happens in life, that you've got this. Okay, so they are the 10 strategies. Let me know which ones resonate with you. Of course, choose one or two until you master them, and then you can add different strategies on. So just to finish up, first of all, if you could like this video, that would be good. If you're finding this helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I'm just a baby channel and I'm trying to grow. I really feel like the mental and emotional tips and research and strategies and support that I give on the channel are really vital to people's life, because if you can't support your own ways of thinking and feeling and behaving, then life can be a real struggle. But if you can master that, if you can support yourself in those, life can be like your cake and eat it too. Okay. So please like and subscribe, share this with someone that you think might need some help. And just to recap, confidence only comes through competence. Okay. So people wait till they feel confident in order to start something. But the irony is you need to start something, suck at it, learn about it, and improve in order to be confident. That confidence needs to be maintained as well. Okay. So yes, I learned how to drive a manual car, 40 years ago. But if I don't keep up with that skill, then today, 40 years later, I won't be confident in driving one. So you need to maintain your confidence. And the last one is have that confidence portfolio, so that if something happens in that one area that you have been really honing in on, you have other areas to bolster that up rather than putting all your confidence eggs in one basket. So I hope this is helpful. Please comment below because I love to interact with my community. And I'll also put the link for the newsletter into the show notes there, because we have lots of really great chats that are not available on the YouTube channel or on the website. So I'll put that in, and I'd love to encourage you to join our community. But until then, let's make the rest of our life the best of our life. So bye for now.